Kings of the North, back-to-back Baltimore Ravens are once again the AFC North champions. Team, keep it clean. I'm here to share my post-game thoughts from that game that we all watched and loved it. Like, I had so much fun watching that game. That was just, it was so special, man. But the game we all watched between the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens, yeah. And Ravens took care of business 35-10. I'm here to share my post-game thoughts on it. Before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on, leave a like on the video because it helps out a ton. Now, start with this Baltimore Ravens offense. They started off slow, and I think the reason they started off slow, they were moving the ball, but then there was some fourth downs where the Baltimore Ravens just didn't convert. But I think the way that the Ravens looked at this, I think they were testing out some things. I know some Ravens fans were a little bit worried, like, man, what is the offense doing? Why are they getting so cute? Why are they getting so pretty? What are they doing? Somebody even called the offense. They didn't even say it was cute. They said it was adorable because that's just how cute they were being early on. And they were. They were. Because remember on, I think it was the first drive where they went for it on the fourth down, where Lamar, he faked like he was going to run, but then at the last second when he was getting hit, he threw it up, sort of lobbed it up for Derrick Henry, but he just overthrew it by that much. I know a lot of people were like, oh my goodness, what are we doing? Todd Monken, what was that? And in my opinion, and I shared this during the stream too, I said that was no fault of Todd Monken. I get it, taking your points. It wasn't a playoff game, but I get it. You could have took the points, but Todd Monken's designed that play perfectly to perfection, but the execution was just off. Lamar he sailed it a little bit, just a tiny, tiny bit, but that was enough for it to be incomplete. It didn't work because I know if that play had worked, we would have all been like, oh yeah, that was crazy. That was great. Let's go. So I know a lot of Ravens fans were tripping about that. And then I think, was it the next drive or another drive later on where they went for it on fourth down? Again, play design, it worked. The play was set up nice. Lamar did have to do Lamar stuff because the offensive line was a little rough on that play, but Lamar found Mark Andrews. Oh, perfect pass right on the money. Hit Mark Andrews in the hands. Mark Andrews got it. I say, yeah. But the Browns defender said, no. This man, pop, knocked that ball up in the air. Rashad Bateman, he tried to go for it, but he ain't get it, and it ended up being an incomplete. So the Browns, they got stops on the Ravens on both of those fourth downs. But besides that, the Baltimore Ravens offense, they did their thing. They scored. Lamar Jackson threw the touchdown to Mark Andrews in the back corner of the end zone. They got it, man. You know, like Mark Andrews finished this season with, I believe, 11 touchdowns? And to think that's crazy about Mark Andrews because he has such a slow start. I know I was saying, no, Isaiah Likely, that's tight end one. Mark Andrews, keep him around because he still could play, but Isaiah Likely needs to be tight end one. And they could have had Isaiah Likely tight end one, but Ravens were like, nope. Mark Andrews is still our guy. Just give him some time. Just be patient. And Mark Andrews, he said it to himself when he wasn't doing nothing. He said, my time is coming. It's coming. It sure showed up in a big way through the later half of the season. But Mark Andrews, just amazing. Amazing player. There was one pass, I think it was on the very first drive, where Lamar went deep to Mark Andrews, but he thought that he was either throwing in Zay Flowers or Rashad Bateman or even Tez Walker or something. Mark Andrews, he ain't got the burns like that right now. So Lamar, he put a little too much on it for Mark Andrews. You gotta take some off of him so he can catch up to it because we remember that pass against the Texans where he should have took it to the house, but he ran out of gas and whatnot. But it's all good because Mark Andrews is a baller, and it's just been nice to see him have success this year. And like I said, despite how things started off. Lamar Jackson, when we look at his numbers, they are not pretty, and he did not get the record for the highest QB rating in the season. He's just going to end up coming up a little bit short, but that's okay. We still got some other goals to accomplish, but that's all right. He finished the day 16 for 32, so 50% of his passes he completed. Some of them were due to him missing. Like there was the pass to Mark Andrews where he sailed it. There was the one to Rasheen Ali. It was like a screen pass, and Lamar put it like way in front of him. Rasheen Ali was way back there. What's going on? But then there were some other ones, but there were a lot of drops too. There were a lot of drops in this game. Ugh. But anyway, he went 16 for 32, 217 yards. So nothing crazy there. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Cool. And he caps off an amazing season. 41 touchdown passes and only 4 interceptions. When you just look at that, that is crazy. That's really crazy. That ratio is insane. It really is, man. It is crazy. Those are stuff that you do in Madden. For me to only throw 4 picks in 17 games in Madden, in the regular season, I don't know what that's happening, buddy. But it's just, Lamar just amazing, man. But this was a game where in the beginning of the game, he started off, he was missing some passes, there was a lot of incompletions and whatnot, but he was sure running that ball. And I was thinking, is he about to get to 1,000 yards? It looked like he's trying to. But then he sort of chilled out with the runs a bit later on in the game. But it's funny because when Lamar, he chilled out with the runs, Derrick Henry, that's when he got started. Because in the first half, Derrick Henry wasn't really doing much of anything. He was trying, but the Browns are like, you think you about to score a touchdown on us with Derrick Henry? No. You think you about to do something on us again with Derrick Henry? No, thanks. But the second half, because again, that's why I think the Ravens were really trolling with what they were doing on offense. I think they were just experimenting with stuff. I think they were just trying different stuff out because they knew they were the superior team. That's why in the second half of the game, they were like, all right, Derrick Henry, let's go, especially in that fourth quarter when he broke those long runs. And it was like, we ready for playoffs. We ready for playoffs. And something that I said in a video, I was just highlighting just the importance of this game for the Baltimore Ravens. I was saying it's very, very important, in my opinion, that the Baltimore Ravens win this game for a lot of different reasons. But it's important that they win it big, too. Because this was one of the revenge games because the Browns beat them earlier this season. But also, this game was for the North, and they needed to do that. They got that done. But also, this was the last regular season game. So all the mistakes, all the errors, all the issues, all the mishaps, this is the last week for all that. This is the very, very last week for all that you can get away with all those problems and errors and whatever and slip-ups before playoff time. So get it all out your system. Again, try it all out like they were doing, but leave it at that. But Derrick Henry, in the second half of the game, he went crazy. He had 20 carries for 138 yards. So he finished with over 1,900 rushing yards this year. That is crazy. And he had 2 touchdowns in this game. So shout out to Derrick Henry, man. Amazing. Just been an amazing pickup for the Baltimore Ravens. Rashad Bateman, when Zay Flowers went down, and that sucks. We'll see about Zay Flowers, his official status soon. Of course, we did the update on Zay Flowers, but we'll know officially after they get the MRI. We should have more of a timetable with Zay Flowers soon. So that sucked. That was really, really bad. It's just, it's frustrating, especially for him. We'll see. I ain't even gonna talk about it too much because we don't know exactly how long or if he'll be out for any amount of games, but we'll see very, very soon. But Rashad Bateman, he certainly stepped up when Zay Flowers went out. Rashad Bateman actually went out for a little bit too on that hit. Lamar Jackson threw him a hospital ball. Rashad Bateman caught it and got whacked by Juan Thornhill. He went out for a little bit, but he's like, I'm good. I got it. Watch this. And he came back with a vengeance. Rashad Bateman had 5 catches for 76 yards, and he caught Lamar Jackson's second touchdown of the game. Just wide open in the back of the end zone. Wide open. It has been amazing to see him and Lamar Jackson's chemistry, how far it's come. It has come such a long way, and I'm so happy for the both of them. Number 7 and number 8 working together. They doing their thing, man. So Rashad Bateman was excellent in this game. Isaiah Likely 3 catches for 38 yards. Derrick Henry had 2 catches for 23 yards. I was very, very pleased with the Baltimore Ravens, how they actually had Derrick Henry out there on quite a few third downs. Thank you. Y'all, I know y'all be listening. Y'all don't necessarily listen to me, but y'all listen to Team Keep It Clean, so I appreciate you hearing them. Pat Ricard had 1 catch for 14 yards, and when he extended his arms, I don't know why, I was just so scared. I thought he was going to drop the ball, but I should have remembered Pat Ricard used to be our wide receiver 1. He used to go out for so many routes, and I don't even remember the last time Pat Ricard caught a pass. I feel like it's been months, but can y'all let us know, like, in the comment section when the last time Pat Ricard caught a pass? 'Cause I really don't remember, but it was nice to see it. He almost got a touchdown, but he came up just short. But the offense in this game, they started off slow, but second half they got rolling, and they were always in control of this game. They were never out of control. The Browns, it seemed like they were making an attempt to sort of try to get back it, but the Baltimore Ravens remained in control throughout this entire game. Trey Hendrickson of the Cincinnati Bengals, who got 2.5 sacks against the Steelers in their game, he should really be thanking the Baltimore Ravens because Myles Garrett, him and Myles Garrett were tied with sacks. And they were tied for the league lead in sacks. And Myles Garrett did not get a single one on Lamar. But Trey Hendrickson, he ended up getting 2.5 on Russell Wilson. So you're welcome for the sack title. Now let's flip it to the defense. But first, team keep it clean. Our Baltimore Ravens are officially not only in the playoffs, but the AFC North champs. So they get a playoff game, at least one at the crib. But what better way in that cold playoff weather? What better way to rep the Baltimore Ravens? What better way to let people know that they in the playoffs than with your Heart of the City playoff hoodie? Team keep it clean. The link is in the description so you can go and get yours ASAP. Use code Ingraven30 to get 30% off your entire order. So you may want to get a playoff hoodie. You may want to get the Human Joysticks Zay Flowers hoodie. You may want to get so many of the different hoodies that they got in the Flock apparel. Make sure you hit them up. Make sure you check them out. And you'll love it, I guarantee it. The Baltimore Ravens defense, my goodness, they were amazing this game. Looking at Bailey Zappe's numbers, and again, numbers don't tell the whole story, but when you watch the game, the game was a lot uglier than his numbers were. He went 16 for 31, 170 yards. So not many yards. And then he threw one touchdown. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but he also threw 2 interceptions. And it was that first interception that got Ravens a touchdown by first-round draft pick, rookie cornerback out of Clemson, that boy Nate Wiggins. We've been waiting on this for a long time, and he's had a lot of opportunities that slipped out of his hand. He had quite a few drop picks throughout the year. But he said, you know what, I'm saving the best for the last game of the season. Y'all watch this. So not only did he get his first interception, but he took it back to the crib. That was a beautiful thing to see. We were so happy for Nate Wiggins, man. What a great way to start off this game for the Ravens getting, I believe that was their first touchdown of the game too. So it was beautiful to see. The defense was just, they were flying tonight. Bailey Zappe, he got sacked once. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, he got sacked once. And it was all guys. It was Kyle Vanoy. He got a sack on Bailey Zappe, and then Odafe Away. So Kyle Vanoy, he got, 12 and a half sacks, something crazy like that. Odafe Away, he got 10 sacks. It's crazy. And then that second interception at the very end of the game by big boy Michael Pierce. Big boy Michael Pierce. This man dropped back in coverage and jumped the pass to catch a pick. I said, when I saw that, I said, we got to get it done this year. I mean, y'all know how I feel like that. We are going to get it done this year, but still, like, when I saw it, I said, we got to. They have to get it done this year. Ravens, like last year, they had everything on their side. They came up short. This year, they got everything on their side, man. It's time to really get this thing done in a major way. You have to, man. Run defense in this game. Cleveland ran the ball 19 times for 56 yards. They averaged 2.9 yards a carry. And the longest run was a 17-yard run. So Ravens, the run defense, they did their thing. Pass defense, overall, they did their thing. Marlon Humphrey was making some fire plays. I remember that fourth down pass to Jerry Jeudy, I believe. Marlon jumped it perfectly. And we knew they was going to be going for it on some fourth down to Cleveland Browns because they ain't got nothing to lose. They just wanted to play spoiler. But Ravens, one thing I appreciated about this game, real quick, first, before we talk about the game, talk about the defense specifically. Because I know there will be people that be like, oh, it was just Bailey Zappe. It was just Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Well, he only threw 3 passes, but so it's mainly Bailey Zappe. It's the Browns. They're losers. They're not a good team. But there have been so many times when we felt that way going into a game. Oh, Ravens should blow this team out. Oh, Ravens should hold them to under 10 points. Ravens should just dust these dudes. And then the Ravens don't. The Ravens end up falling short. The Ravens end up giving up a bunch of points. The Ravens end up giving up a bunch of yards. We've seen that time and time again. So I'm not going to take it for granted that the Baltimore Ravens, in a game that they were expected to blow this team out the water. I think they were saying, oh, the spread and all that, 20-point whatever. I don't get into all that gambling stuff or even know what a lot of that stuff means. But people were expecting the Ravens to really win this one and dominate. So a lot of times when that happens, it can be a little scary for us as Ravens fans because we know, like even the one against the Giants a couple weeks ago when all these people say, oh, the Ravens should win by this much. It was like, ooh, okay, y'all don't want to stop talking about it so much. But the Ravens took care of business. But then in this one, they did the same thing. They won by 25 points. So Ravens, they did what they fulfilled the expectations. They actually exceeded expectations, in my opinion. But it was such an amazing game from this defense. Shout out to Zach Orr, man. Shout out to John Harbaugh, too. for sticking with Zach Orr. They hung in there with him. And shout out to John Harbaugh, Zach Orr, for making the changes, making the tough decisions with the defense, with Marcus Williams, Eddie Jackson, Trenton Simpson too. So it ain't just been the safeties. It's been the linebacker play as well. This thing has turned around completely in a big way, man. And it's made all the difference in the world. Had this defense not made the turnaround that they made, this is a much different season for the Baltimore Ravens right now. Much different season. But I'm glad that they have taken care of business. Special teams. Shout out to Justin Tucker making all of his extra point attempts. Jordan Stout, he's a solid punter. But we want to really focus on the return game. Keaton Mitchell, he had broke a nice return, and he set the Ravens up with some real nice field position coming out of halftime. But really, the guy that really continues to catch my eye is Steven Sims. Steven Sims, he is very, very aggressive and greedy with, like, he don't play. Like, anytime he get a chance to return it, he's not doing no fair catch. You will never see him fair catch. That man is trying to return any and every single punt that he get his hands on. He don't care if it's somebody close to him. It don't matter what it is. We saw that in the Texans game at first. And at first I was thinking, this is personal because it's against the Texans. Okay, I get it. But that's just who he is. Very, very aggressive with it. But I'm like, hey, long as you holding on to the ball, go do your thing. Do what you got to do. So shout out to the Baltimore Ravens on special teams because they've come a long way too, especially Justin Tucker. And I know, like, we can't even take extra points for granted anymore because we saw some earlier this season where he missed them. But now it seems like they're really rolling. They hitting the groove. They hitting their stride. And special teams has gotten so much better. And I like the fact that we have asked the question, man, when the Baltimore Ravens going to play multiple complete games? Because we'll get a complete game here. We get a complete game there. But then we'll have some other games where it's just like, this phase of football doing great. But that phase is, they showing up too late. And then, so that can be very frustrating. But the Ravens, over these past couple of weeks, really over this past month, I would say, for the most part, there have been some hiccups here and there, but the Ravens are really playing complementary football on both sides of the ball, and they're playing complete football too. So this is a very, very dangerous team for the postseason.